Alright, welcome back to another custom track in MX versus ATV Reflex. We're going to do the two custom tracks again. Now, it just so happens we did two Nick DeLeon. I think that's how you say it. Some people were trying to tell me how his name is pronounced. If I'm messing it up, I apologize. It's not what I'm good at, pronouncing people's names that I don't know. But Nick DeLeon, two more tracks from him, just like the last video. This track is called Judd Moto. Now, if you happen to make it out to a live stream, you might recall us playing this track, and I played on it for 30 minutes. I think we played on it once and then came back to it. It's similar. It reminds me a lot of Meadow City, the track we did last time, and if you missed that, I will make sure to have end screen cards or annotations or something letting you go back to it. It reminds me a lot of that, and this was the first track we played on. Now, it's really rough. It's really rough and rutted and bumpy and everything. Not so much as some of his newer stuff. Some of his newer tracks, they're getting rougher and more rutted and more gnarly and nasty, which is awesome. I do like that because it's variety. It's different. It's fun to have the super smooth tracks where you don't have to think about it too much. You're just on the throttle the whole time, I guess. MX Warlord, I love what he does. His tracks, well, some of his tracks can be kind of rough, but they're the really big lines where you come out of a corner and then you just hold it on and you have a ways to the next jump. I love those tracks. Those are some of my absolute favorite by him to play. But then you have this style, which we do talk about in that last video, where they're more rough and you kind of have to think about it. I'm going into a corner. Sometimes I'm braking a little bit more than normal, leaning back to try and not lose the rear end and have it swap out on us. With Nick's tracks, it feels like I have to do that more, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I like how he has that nice in-between feeling we talked about last time, where it's a little bit of video game with reflex, but it's somewhat more realistic in how the track's breaking up in forms and everything like that. But then you have these huge jumps. This one's not as big, but there's a lot of, I think this right here, this huge table, which sometimes I struggle to get over. And then kind of getting on the brakes really hard right there, and we still overshoot it. That inside line is by far way faster than that outside line, because to even it out, a lot of creators do that. They kind of put those big acceleration bumps. I wouldn't say they're braking bumps because you're not really braking there. Those big deep holes, those big acceleration bumps on the outside, just so you can't rail it and carry way more speed, and nobody wants to take the inside. Then it promotes some line choice. But just right there off that finish line where we're landing, it's so rough. And then here it's even rough. It's not terrible, but this whole entire section right here where that little cutout is going into this rut, it's all very rough. Again, not as rough as some of his newer stuff, but it's still not exactly smooth, and you kind of have to think about what you're doing, and you can easily crash when you're landing into that or trying to take off on it or turn through it, corner through it. It's just, they're really rough tracks, and it's really awesome how he does that. It's his style. It's like his calling card. Now, I was earlier playing on a track by him. I have a bunch. That's why we're doing two Nick DeLeon. Sorry, I'm saying that wrong, but that's why we're doing two tracks from him, because I downloaded a lot, and I'm kind of going back and playing through some of my, I don't know, my favorite ones, yes, but also tracks that I can get through. Because some of his tracks they're so rough that I have troubles playing on them. That doesn't mean they're not great tracks. I love them the same. There's no criticism towards it. Don't take it the wrong way. It just, when I do these videos, I like to personally have something that I can kind of get through and feel like we did it a little bit of justice. I know we're slow and we're not that good at the game, but I feel like at least here on Judd Moto, we're getting through the track good enough you can see what it is, you can get an idea of the track and the work that Nick DeLeon has done with it. So that's kind of another deciding factor in how I do tracks or how I decide on tracks. Now, there's tracks out there. People have mentioned to me, I did it during a live stream. C4 Detonator has the 2017 Red Bull Straight Rhythm. I did it during live stream. Amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I just haven't got around to it. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it. It doesn't mean that I don't think it's an absolute masterpiece. It just means that I haven't gotten around to it. So don't take it the wrong way if you're watching this, that, oh, he must not like that track, or he must not like the people that make this track, or the person that makes this track, or whatever. It's not the case. I mean, I'm really busy, and then when I'm trying to do YouTube videos, we kind of mix it up and we try to play a variety of stuff here. I know we've been doing a lot of Reflex lately, but that's partially because I put up a video, if you didn't see it, and where I was asking people if they had time or if they could, to give me suggestions on what they wanted to see, and Reflex custom tracks and MX Sim are like the biggest things. And I still haven't really done a lot of MX Sim because I still don't believe anybody's gonna watch it. I'm sorry, I just don't. History kind of tells me that it won't be like that. People don't really watch that here, but we will do more. Don't worry. If you're here just for the MX Simulator, we'll get more, or get back to it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But more people were saying Reflex custom tracks, and for the next couple months at least, I'm not sure when this video is going to get out to you, there is a lot of time to wait. I was going to say something else, but YouTube likes to do things if you don't say things perfectly in their videos, or in your videos. Their algorithm likes to hurt you. But anyways, this is Judd Moto by Nick DeLeon. Again, we're doing the 2-moto format. If I did not say that at the beginning, the next track will be by Nick DeLeon as well, it's a really awesome track. It's a much longer track and a little bit different than this one. I don't think it's as rough, but we'll talk about it when we get to that. And after these 2 tracks in this video, I'm thinking about getting back to a little more Supercross. I know in that video where I was asking if you could do me a favor by letting me know what you want to see, there was quite a few people saying they wanted to see Reflex custom Supercross tracks, so might try and find a few of those. Now, we actually do try to take the inside line here. Yes, I know I didn't really hit that rut very good, or that little berm, however you want to say it. Looks more like a little berm than a little rut. I know we didn't hit that very good. But even hitting that good, the way that I have my bike set up, there's no way that we're going to get that. And hitting that line, that inside line, you have to get on the brakes super, 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 super hard. So I think we try on this last lap to hit that inside line again, and there's just no way. There's absolutely no way we're going to hit it. But back to this whole Supercross thing. I don't know if you would rather see... I'm curious what a majority of people like. Do you like the replica Supercross national tracks, or do you like the more fantasy... If you're not sure what I mean by when I say MX Warlord, I love his work. The dude makes awesome stuff, and they're my favorite tracks to play on because I like video game motocross tracks. If I want real life, I'll go ride in real life. I have 2 bikes. People ask me about that too. Yes, if you're here and you don't know or you're not familiar with the channel, I do ride. I have 2 bikes. I've rode for 20 years. I don't know exactly how long, but it's probably getting close to 20 years or a little over. So yes, I do ride in real life, and so when I play these games, it's totally fine if they're just video games. And I like playing the not realistic fantasy type tracks, and MX Warlord makes some of the best around. So curious if you want to see more of the video game arcade style, not realistic type of Supercross tracks, motocross tracks, or would you rather see more replicas, more realistic ones? Like a lot of people make the Supercross replica tracks, the AMA Supercross, Monster Energy Supercross replicas. We could do that. Red Rider makes a lot of awesome national tracks. He made Glen Helen. He made a couple other ones. Sorry, I don't know exactly which ones, but he made quite a few, and he's really good at it. So you'll have to let me know what you want to see there. This lap's about over, and then we are going to hop over into the new one, which out of these 2 tracks was my absolute favorite, and it's really cool stuff. So I'll see you over there in just a second when this lap finishes. Alright, so welcome back. We are gonna finish up the second half of this video. Actually, this is a little more than half, because this track, I believe, has longer lap times. Now, this track is called Taiga Roar National. Taiga Roar National. Sorry, I had to click out. I have it up on my screen, but I have 2 monitors set up right now, and one monitor has one thing, the other monitor has the other, and then the other one's just for like consoles and stuff, if you're kind of curious of what I'm looking at right now. So I have 3 monitors, one's for console, and then I have 2 for my PC. But there was another program up there, and I have it full screen, so I couldn't see it, had to click out. That's what I was doing. Taiga Roar National by Nick DeLeon. Again, this track is awesome. So we have done 4 Nick DeLeon tracks. He's got a bunch. He's got way more than I thought, because when I did Avant-Garde, I thought that was like one of his newer tracks. I mean, I'm still a little new to the custom tracks. I play PC or not PC, I played Reflex on Xbox 360. I bet I had 1,000 hours, no joke. I bet I had at least 1,000 hours on console. Not very many on PC. I think I'm closing in on only 100 hours on PC. But the only time I play on PC is when we live stream a little bit, or if I'm doing a custom track video like this. So I mean, I'm late to the game. There's all these tracks which I've never done and everybody else already has. So cool for me because everything seems new and there's tons of content. It wasn't like I've played every custom track and I have to wait until somebody wants to make something super awesome. There's so much awesome content out there made by so many people that the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit, and that wraps up one lap. This track was really... I'm looking for the word to say. This track was... It's not hard. It's not a hard track. I think it's almost... I feel like I was using more throttle control and braking in the last track, Judd Moto, than I am on this one. But this one, for instance, this triple right here, it was really, really easy to overjump that, taking that line. Really easy. And then this line, yes, it's a pretty big rut and it's dug out, but it's really easy to go over it. And this table, you need, at least the way I have my bike set up now, I just said I never changed my setup, so it's different. I need every inch to get over that table. This section was so much fun. You could scrub it so hard. I mean, I know we didn't scrub it that hard, but that section was fun. And then coming into this back where this double is, or I guess you can say it's a triple. This is the section that was, like, I had the least amount of flow here because I didn't know what to do here. Where this little roller was, you could jump into the far, but it wasn't worth it. Just kind of going from one to the other line there, and then you can kind of double off this a lot of times. Now we don't get it here because there's like a little bump there that killed our speed, but you can triple that. I think we already did. I'm not sure now. And then tripling this is a lot of fun, but I'm barely getting over that. A lot of that has to deal with the fact that the way I have my bike set up is, I think I'm just right. I'm a little more towards top speed, but we're still kind of in the middle. Very generic setting for both Supercross and Motocross. So for tracks like this, longer ones, I think our setup struggles just a little bit. But it's kind of like what I was saying in that last video. A lot of Nick DeLeon's tracks, you're never really going straight for very long. They're always twisting and turning, a lot of S's, and I mean, even this section, a lot of people that make tracks might have made that just kind of a straight section, but here we're just constantly twisting and turning. This is probably one of the longest sections of straight that's on this track. Actually, that's not true. That section where the big table is and then that big triple, I think, is too. Here you can actually double and then triple out. I did that when I was practicing, which is kind of a fun line. If you mess up the triple, you can still double, triple out. This section, I guess, is kind of long for being, you know, for me saying that I feel like a lot of his tracks are twisting and turning. Now, I don't think we're going to get over this because we messed that up. No, there's no way. So for me, at least, I need to get through that corner really well. Taking the inside or the outside here really doesn't matter because either way, you have way more than enough speed to jump down in the bottom and then kind of throw a little scrub whip. I just love that section. That was this entire section here, all the way through to this triple down into the bottom, to even this corner right here. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the track. Just the flow it had, and it wasn't too hard. This was probably my least favorite part. I'm not criticizing it. I mean, I love it. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. It just was probably my least favorite because I didn't really know what to do there. It was just kind of tough. And then I love that, how you can triple that section, but if you don't get it just right, you still got to double. You can't just power your way out of it or huck it over that. It just doesn't work the way he has it built. So it feels a little more realistic to me in the fact that you really need to hit the line to get some of the sections. So for the fact that I say that it's kind of a in-between realistic / arcade style, it just holds true with that. Really awesome job. Nick DeLeon is killing it with this. Now, you can take that outside line, but it sets you up so weird for this. And I was constantly over jumping that double and not being able to get this triple, and it was annoying me. So I just never was really sure. It was really easy to overjump, but also easy to underjump. And then getting this quad was difficult. We never really cleanly got over it. A lot of times I was kind of either landing on top or casing into it, but luckily we never actually, I don't think we actually ever crashed there. We might get reflex eventually. And then I don't know if I haven't been paying attention really. Maybe we take that inside line, which is kind of cool, and we'll see that here in a bit. Hopefully we get this line. You could go all the way outside, but hitting that inside line, that middle rut there is just really the only way that I see to go around that. And I think we switch this up eventually so you can see. I know I don't take a lot of line choice on this track, but this track it had line choices. All his tracks, a lot of reflex tracks in general have line choice, but this one I felt like it felt pretty one line. I don't really see, I mean, there's no reason to go outside of this. No reason to go inside either. You'll lose too much speed, I think, personally. And I don't really see a reason to go outside there and then outside here. Because taking this inside, I'm still letting off so I don't jump too far into this bottom, and we messed it up again. I tried to get it, kind of landed on top. There's really no reason to do it, and it would be much slower, I think, if you did. Here, I was really careful because I didn't want to swap out, but you can jump over that. And then I was always thinking maybe I could hop over that little, it's not really a dragon's back, it's just a really rough spot. But I wasn't able to do it. And then taking this inside line, I mean, that's one of those spots where I like that there's that choice. If you're racing with your buddy, or not really the AI, because AI is kind of weird on custom tracks, but if you're racing online or against your friends or something, it promotes a little line choice. But I just don't see why you would take it if you have the choice of taking something else. Here we're going to try and take the inside line. Now there is a little rut you could hook into, and you don't need much because I'm pretty sure I let off a little bit to hit that double. Otherwise you're almost tripling. Even how that jump, you saw that it was kind of offset. Like the left side was taller, the right side was a little bit shorter. Here I was going out. Yeah, we're not going to get it now. Just take the double, man. Just take the double. Now, interesting enough, it seems like it's kind of built for that, where you could double from the inside and then you could jump from table to table. Just interesting to see that there. It's a little different line. I don't know if that was his intention when he was doing it, but it looks, I don't know, I think it's kind of cool, but that kind of messed us up for this whole section. And now we're going to take the inside line. It doesn't make any difference. You still can scrub into the bottom here, over jump, and then throw a little scrub out. I mean, that section's fun. You guys need to go check out some of Nick DeLeon's tracks and tell him that he's doing a great job, because he really is. His style. I've said already that I haven't played Reflex on PC a lot, and there's a lot of creators out there that I haven't probably done tracks from, but just his mix. I keep coming back to this. I know I keep repeating myself and saying it, but it's really cool, and I think it really needs to be recognized that he finds such a good balance between the huge video game arcade style jumps, not on all his tracks, just on some of them. The way he scales it to work with Reflex, but yet the rough rutted, how the track is tearing apart, breaking up, more realistic. I think he does such a great job. And I mean, I don't talk about environment much. I rarely ever talk about an environment in a track. Now, with Red Rider, I will always say Red Rider does some fantastic environment. Like, insane. It's just insane. Second to none. Red Rider kills it with environment. He puts so much time and effort into that. And his tracks, he does such a good job because he does a lot of replicas. This environment is really well done too. Everything about the track is good. The texture of the dirt is a little bit different, something that I'm not used to playing on as often. I mean, there's kind of a lot of the tracks are kind of the same. This texture just looks a little bit different, which is cool. The environment's kind of cool. Kind of the mountains, the snowy mountains in the background with all the trees down here is kind of cool. The sky looks good. I mean, just your typical regular cool sky. But it's something that I don't talk about, but I do notice it. I do notice it right away. It's one of the first things that I do notice. It's just not a selling point for me. If this track had zero environment, just the track and nothing else, I would still say it's just as good of a track. Visually, seeing the environment is cool, but it's not something that I necessarily have to have. But he killed it on that. So overall, the track is great. I don't have like a rating or anything because I don't review it. It's awesome, and I think it's worth a download, and I think you guys should definitely go check it out. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you made it this far. I like saying that because I know a lot of people don't make it this far, but thanks for making it this far if you have. Thank you for the suggestions you give. If there's something in specific you want to see, make sure to let me know. Would you rather see more nationals, motocross tracks? Would you rather see more indoor supercross tracks, more realistic ones, more arcade fantasy type tracks? What would you like to see? And I will do my best to try and download that and find it. But this lap is about done. Thank you so much for the support. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. I really can't thank you enough. And until the next video, take it easy.